everyone. Now coming to the today's topic is the pharmaceutical creams. So coming to the creams, these are the semi-solid preparations. So coming to the creams, the contents which will be included in creams or what are the types of creams we are going to study are makeup creams. Okay, under makeup creams we have a vanishing cream, foundation cream. Okay, second type of a cream is cleansing creams for winter, that is a example will be a cold cream. Fourth cream is a creams for the dry skin, example is a moisturizing cream. Next, all purpose cream, night cream, skin protective and hand cream. So all these are the different types of a creams which will be used. Coming to our theory or a topic, we study about the two creams, that is a vanishing cream and the cold cream. So coming to the introduction, basically what are the creams? Creams are nothing but they are the semi-solid dosage forms. If you see the creams are they contain one or a more drug substances which are dissolved or dispersed in a suitable basis. So they are basically semi-solid preparations which contains the drug dissolved in a suitable base. So coming to the cold creams are defined as a semi-solid emulsions. These are of a two types. If you see, the creams are basically, they are of a two types. The principle involved also, whenever you are going to prepare a cream, first you need to prepare emulsion. When you stir it, then it leads to the formation of a cream. So the inside mechanism of the principle of a cream involved will be the emulsion. So here the two types of emulsions will be used here, either water in oil or oil in water. Next, coming to these creams, most of the creams are medicated and they are intended for only the external application. These are not meant for the internal application. These are meant for only the external application. Whatever cold cream, vanishing cream, makeup cream, moisturizer cream, you will apply on the surface of your skin or the body, but you will not consume internally. Now coming to the classification of the emulsions, as I have told you, based on the cream will have a mechanism of an emulsion, that is a principle. So two types of creams you can see here, oil in water and water in oil. So coming to the oil in water in oil, the first one, whenever you see before the bifurcation or the slash, the first or the left one indicates the dispersed phase or the internal phase. Next, after the slash, there is another phase which is known as a dispersion medium or external phase, or the continuous phase. Here internal phase. So dispersed phase or the internal phase. Next, dispersion medium, external phase or the continuous phase. So here the dispersed phase will be added into the continuous phase. Next, coming to the oil in water. Oil in water, so the first one, the left one is in a dispersed phase and the right one is in a continuous phase. So example of a water in oil cream is in a cold cream and oil in water cream is in a vanishing cream. So here you can see, in case of a cold cream, the continuous phase is in a oil. So whenever you apply a cold cream, you have a somewhat a greasy texture. There will be a silky in appearance. If you see, most of the cold creams, if you see, they are meant for application in case of winter. So in case of winter, what will happen? Dryness of skin can be seen. So in case of a winter, you apply cold cream. So cold cream will impart a moisture. They will be in a greasy in nature. So if you see, the continuous phase is here is a oil. Next, coming to the second type of a cream is in a oil in water. So if you see, the continuous phase is a water here, aqueous based. Next, coming to the according to the function, this is based on the emulsion type. Second one is according to the function. What are the examples of the cream? Cleansing cream, foundation cream and moisturizing cream. Next, coming to the first one is the vanishing cream. So coming to the vanishing cream, as the name indicates vanishing, as soon as you apply this cream, they will be in a very fine state. They will soonly evaporate or they will spread into the skin very fastly. If you see the cold cream, they may have some traces or greasy, you can see some appearance, whitey appearance. Whereas in case of vanishing cream, as soon as you apply it, it easily disappears. Vanishing is nothing but disappearing. So therefore, they are known as a vanishing cream. So coming to these creams, these are the oil in water emulsions. Apart from that, what are the ingredients which are present in this one? they contain a large proportions of a water and stearic acid. So as soon as you apply, what will happen? They get evaporate and leave behind a thin residue. So coming to these creams contain what is a major component of the cream? Water and stearic acid. Next, as soon as you apply, they get evaporate and leave behind a thin residue. So here you can see the pictures of the vanishing cream. Next, coming to the properties of the vanishing cream, okay, they have a high melting point, the whiteness will be very pure if you see. Next, they will have a little odor and the low iodine number. I have told you what is iodine number in case of a supposed risk topic, okay. Next, they can be easily applied or the rubbed onto the skin surface. Next, coming to the ingredients which are used in the preparation of a vanishing cream. So, as I have told you, the major composition will be the stearic acid, okay. So, stearic acid is a major component, and which type of stearic acid here you are using? Triple press. So, they do not have any types of impurity. The pure form of a stearic acid you are going to use. Next, coming to this one, whenever you add a stearic acid, you will also add an alkali. So, the alkali and stearic acid will react with each other and it leads to the neutralization of an acid. Ultimately, it leads to the formation of a soap or the emulsifying action, okay. So, this will determine the hardness of the cream. Example of this will be the nothing but the usage of this will be the, it governs the consistency of the cream. Next, coming to the next agent is the humectants. Humectants are the agents, as I have told you, it prevents the dryness of the skin, okay. So, coming to this one, mostly glycerol will be added, okay. Apart from that, sorbitol and propylene glycol will also be included into the composition. Next, coming to the next ingredient is the alkali. So, alkali and stearic acid both are the major components which are included in the vanishing cream. So, coming to the alkali, the examples are all alkalis, okay. If you see potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, sodium carbonate, triethanolamine, which is commonly known as T, triethanolamine, and borax. So, if you see individual properties, the potassium hydroxide, out of all this one, it is most commonly used because the cream which will be prepared, it will have a very fine texture, okay, without any harshness, without any gritty or rough particles, it will be very fine state, okay. Next, coming to the sodium hydroxide, if you see, when alone it is used, the sodium hydroxide, it will form a very hard cream, it will not easily rubbed into the skin. So, therefore, always in case of sodium hydroxide, it should be used in a combination with other alkalis. Next, borax when used in a combination with either potassium hydroxide or a triethanolamine agent, it forms a white emulsion. Next, coming to the last ingredient is a carbonates. Whenever you are going to use a carbonate, sodium carbonate, it will liberate the carbon dioxide during the reaction, okay. Next, whatever the cream is there, it becomes very spongy. So, coming to the vanishing cream. So, stearic acid will be the main ingredient and the alkali will be the main ingredient. So, alkali here, as I have told you, it acts as an emulsifier. So, when you mix both these ingredients, the acid will be neutralized by the alkali, okay. So, ultimately it leads to the formation of a vanishing cream. As soon as you apply, it gets evaporate, it forms a invisible, it will be non-greasy and the shiny appearance can be seen here. Next, coming to the ingredients or the formulation which is used in case of vanishing cream, the ingredients are, it basically, as I have told you, creams are of two types, means based on the emulsion type, oil in water. So, if you see the ingredients, they have divided into two here, oil phase and aqueous phase. So, oil phase, stearic acid and cetyl alcohol. Here you can see the concentrations, okay. Next, here they have also given what is the purpose of adding this agent. Next, isopropyl myristate. So, these three ingredients comes under oil phase. Coming to the aqueous phase are sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, glycerol, water, perfume and preservative. So, these are the respective concentrations and this is the usage or category of the respective agent. Now, coming to the preparation. So, coming to the preparation, here it leads to the two steps, okay. It's okay, into the one beaker, okay. you're adding a sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide in water, and you're adding a glycerol, preservative, and heating to the 80 degrees. Means this is an aqueous portion. Okay. So, into the aqueous portion, what you're adding? Into the water, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide alkalis. Next, you're adding a glycerol. Next, you're adding a preservative and you're heating to 80 degrees centigrade. You're keeping aside this beaker. Now, you're taking another beaker which contains a oil phase. Okay. You are adding a stearic acid, cetyl alcohol, isopropyl myristate. So, as I've told you, this indicates the oil phase. It is also heated to the 75 degrees centigrade. Now, third step, what you're going to do? You're adding an alkali, aqueous portion into the oil portion. Okay, you're heating nothing but you're stirring it and the mixture is cooled to the 45 degrees centigrade. Okay, it will be brought to the normal temperature because you have heated to 80 and 75. So, the temperature should be reduced and you have to stir it continuously. Then after that, when it will come to the normal temperature, you add a perfume and the remaining agents, you keep it overnight. Okay, next coming to the ingredients. So, whatever the alkali you are adding, it will react with the stearic acid. As I have told you in the initial, it acts as an emulsifier. Next, coming to the glycerol, they prevent the loss of moisture, nothing but they act as a humectant. Next, coming to the sodium stearate, it gives a pearly shine appearance to your vanishing cream. So, these are the marketed products which are available in the market, okay, commercially products. Next, coming to the applications of the vanishing cream, they have a sheen effect, shiny appearance. They are used for the daily purpose. Next, moisture locking power can be seen and it also helps in the lightening of a age spot. So, these are the different applications of the vanishing cream. Now, coming to the next cream is the cold cream. So, coming to the cold cream. So, cold cream is a water in oil type of an emulsion. Okay. So, whenever you apply this cold cream, so what will happen? The aqueous phase or the water phase will get evaporate and you have a cooling sensation. So, because of this, it is termed as a cold cream. Okay. So, coming to the ingredients here, borax and beeswax will be added. They act as an emulsifying agent. If you see the vanishing cream, the major ingredient was water and stearic acid. Here, borax and beeswax will be added in order to have a greasiness as it is a cold cream. Next, coming to the ingredient of this cold cream, basically it is very protective to the skin. Okay, as I have told you, major ingredients are borax and the beeswax. But coming to this cold cream upon storage, it has a disadvantage of phase inversion. So, what is a phase inversion? For example, you have prepared this cold cream, water in oil. On storage, what will happen? It will convert to the oil in water, which is known as a phase inversion. Okay. Next, coming to this one, as I have told you, as you apply, they get evaporated and cooling sensation or cold sensation can be absorbed. Therefore, it is termed as a cold cream. Next, oil film remaining on the skin, whatever, it gives an emollient and protective action to the skin. So, it prevents the dryness, it gives the moisture to the skin. Next, ideal characteristics of cold cream. So, ideal characteristics, it should have an optimum pH of 4.6 to 6. Next, the consistency or the viscosity should be optimum. It should not be too high, it should not be too low. Next, it should not be sticky. Even it is greasy appearance or the nature, it should not stick to your skin. Next, it should be attractive in appearance. Okay. Next, penetration through epidermis of the skin should be desirable, means the mode of the mechanism of absorption through the skin, stratum corneum. It should be non-irritant and non-inflammatory and it should give a cooling effect. Okay. So, these are the ideal properties. Next, coming to the agents or the ingredients which are used in the preparation of this cold cream are, first one is a mineral oil, the other synonym is liquid paraffin, white beeswax, borax, alcohol and perfume. So, this is the purpose of adding white beeswax, thickening agent and emulsifier, it acts as. Next, coming to the borax, it acts as an emulsifier agent. Okay. Now, coming to the formulation, same, it is also divided into two phases, oil phase and aqueous phase. Oil phase ingredients are mineral oil and beeswax. Aqueous phase ingredients are borax, water, perfume and preservative. So, here also if you see the preparation, it is divided into two steps. Okay, first you are preparing a First, you are preparing an oil phase. Okay, you are heating the mineral oil and beeswax in the jacketed vessel at a 75 degrees centigrade. So, this is the oil phase. Next, coming to the aqueous phase, second beaker you are taking, okay, or China dish. Into that, you are adding a borax and preservative, and you are adding a water and you are heating to the 75 degrees centigrade. Third step, add the aqueous phase to the oil phase, stir it, bring to the normal temperature, keep it aside and pack in a container. So, these are the preparations of cold cream. Some examples. Next, coming to the differences between the vanishing cream and cold cream. So, if you see here, the first one, they act as adhesives for the makeup powders, vanishing cream. Coming to here, they are used for cleansing the face of makeup. Next, it reduces the loss of moisture from the skin. Here, it heavily moisturizes the dry skin, cold cream. Next, it smoothens the skin and keeps it soft. Next, it can also be used as a balm for the dry cracked lips. Okay. Next, it prevents the skin from the roughening and the chapping. Okay, chapping is nothing but dryness of the skin, scaling of the skin. It can also be used as a shaving cream alternative for the men. Next, coming to the evaluation of the creams. So, we have some 5 to 6 evaluation. First one is physical properties. So, under physical properties, you will be checking organoleptic, that is a color, odor of the cream, appearance of the cream will be checked. Second test is the presence of a foreign particles or the grittiness. So, what you are doing, you are taking a cream, you apply onto the glass slide, okay. Next, you check with the manually, or you can add a light to check for the presence of any foreign particles. Two procedures are there. First, what you do, take some amount of the cream formulation, add to the slide, check manually with the fingers for any gritty particles are there. Or else you add a light, diffused light, and see if there are any gritty particles, you can see the large lumps in the cream formulation. Next, coming to the third test is a washability. So, coming to the washability, you apply some amount of a cream onto your surface of the skin and wash it. Like how much time it is taking, whether it can be easily washed or it is taking longer time, you have to check it. Next, fourth test is the pH. Coming to the pH, take some amount of the formulation, add into the distilled water or the vehicle, dilute it and check with means of a pH meter or a pH paper. Next, coming to the viscosity will be determined for the creams by the Brookfield viscometer. Okay, at a temperature of 25 degrees centigrade, as I have told you in the previous, this will contain a spindles. So, in case of here, we will be using a S64 because they are highly viscous. So, you have to use a larger or the greater size of a spindle, that is a S64. Next is the spreadability test. So, coming to the spreadability test, what you are doing, you are taking a 2 glass slides, okay, onto the one glass slide. This is a one glass slide, assume you are applying a formulation of a cream, you are keeping another glass slide and press it. After that, you try to separate the glass slide. So, how much time it is taking for the separation of a 2 glass slide, okay. If it is taking a short time, it indicates that it will having a better spreadability. If it is taking a longer time to spread, then it doesn't have a good spreadability. Next test is an irritancy test. So, coming to the irritancy test, mark some area on the dorsal surface of your hand, apply the cream and observe for 24 hours to 48 hours whether you have any irritation, inflammation or any reaction you can see here. If there is no reaction, then it is safe to use. If there is any reaction, then you have to recheck and reformulate it again. Next is the stability test. So, coming to the stability test, here the first test you are checking is a globule size. So, you are taking a 1 ml of a cream and you are diluting with a 10 ml of a glycerin. Next, you are adding a few drops of this onto the glass slide and you are absorbing under a microscope. So, you are checking for the globule size with the help of a micrometer. The diameter of a 200 particles are determined here. Next, coming to the phase separation. So, phase separation or the what you are doing, whatever cream you have prepared it, you are keeping in a closed container and maintaining the temperature of a 25 to 30 degrees centigrade, and you are absorbing for from 24 hours to the 30 days. Okay, you are checking for the change in the phase separation. If there is anything, you have to record it and note it. Next, one is a thermal stability. So, coming to the thermal stability, what you are doing, you are taking a cream, whatever you have prepared, you are adding into the glass bottle, okay, with the help of a spatula, and you are keeping a plug, almost some 2 by 3% of in a bottle. Into that you are filling the whole cream and you are keeping a plug and you are tightening the cap. Now, the whatever the sample you have taken, you have to kept in the incubator at this 45 degrees centigrade for 48 hours. Next, after 48 hours, you have to remove from the incubator and you have to check it whether there is any oil and aqueous separation is there. Means, if 2 layers are separated, you can see these 2 layers can be seen. So, indicates that oil and aqueous phase are separated. If there is a no separation, only one phase will be visible. So, you have to check for this. Okay. So, by this we have completed a cream. So, in creams you have to remember basically examples of a creams or types of emulsion of a creams. What is the example for water in oil? What is the example for a oil in water? What is the difference between the vanishing cream and cold cream, and what are the ingredients which are used? If you see, what are the main ingredients in case of a cold cream? What are the ingredients in case of a vanishing cream? Stearic acid and potassium hydroxide in case of vanishing cream. In case of cold cream, borax and beeswax you are adding. So, you have to remember that ingredients, okay. Next, what is the evaluation? So, evaluation, if you see, there are some regular tests. Apart from regular, you have studied the irritancy, spreadability, thermal stability and normal stability studies, globule size, that are the specific tests. So, you have to remember the devices or the equipment which they have used for the evaluation of creams. So, thank you everyone. Have a nice day.